Welcome, Scorpio rising. It's Cosmic Girl 101 talking astrology for you. Happy New Year. In this video, there's lots of astrological information. So if that's not your jam, this content may not be for you. But if you like intimate, detailed astrological information all about your rising sign, your Cosmic Girl 101 has you covered. Okay. Interesting start to the first calendar month of 2025. It is so active in regards to the planetary aspects. It's incredible. Okay, let's get into it then, shall we? From the 1st to the 5th, so the first 5 days of January, you've got a Pluto-Mars retrograde opposition. I see this first 5 days for you, Scorpio rising, as you're showing up just enough in regards to your responsibilities with your career, superiors. You're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's. You're doing just enough to keep up appearances, if you will. And this is because I think there's lots of activity going on within the family unit. You could be more insular or wanting to withdraw from the public more and just do things behind closed doors. And at the same time, you're doing just enough, to get a potential gold star from the boss or superiors whilst you have to do what you need to do professionally. It's not as if you're really muscling in and rolling up your sleeves and getting a lot of stuff done and kicking proverbial career goals. I think you're just swimming enough to keep your head above water whilst there's lots of activities going on behind closed doors and in the home. So that's how I see your first 5 days. And on the 2nd, we've got Venus going into Pisces. Really liking not being in your usual environment. So travel could be more prominent for you. Doing things in isolation, having a lot of alone time. There could also be enjoying connecting with new people, places, and faces. Meeting people that aren't of your usual surroundings or environments could be quite pleasurable for you at this time with Venus in Pisces. And any contracts, agreements, or negotiations are really favorable as well for you in regards to setting something up in stone and making you feel like you're supported in regards to what you actually enjoy doing on the day-to-day. So you could be landing a good contract or an agreement that makes you go, yay, this feels good. I can work with this daily. So this is a really nice transit for you, Scorpio rising. So if you have any negotiations, a favourable time for you to step forward and pitch what you need to pitch. I think you'll be well received, and that can really change up your day-to-day dynamics and just feeling, I feel zen, I feel comfortable, I feel good. So Venus in Pisces for you is a fabulous transit coming up, Scorpio rising. On the 6th, we've got Mercury squaring off with Neptune. This is just forget it day. It's information, communication. If anything could go wrong, this will be the day where anything can go wrong on the 6th with Mercury square Neptune. And this could just be messy information or anything to do connected with finances and children, if applicable, or a hobby or a goal that you have with a personal project. It's not coming together. So this is really frustrating. So if you're like panning on a blank canvas and you're going, oh, this is what I'm going to do, and it's like ripping off the page one after the other, it's just not happening. So it's like it's distorted. So the 6th of January is forget everything day. Don't bother. It's just too hazy and too confusing, and it's got to do with finances potentially and your sense of enjoyment. So maybe a hat off day. Don't get too lost in the sauce day on the 6th of January. The same day Mars goes retrograde back into Cancer in your 9th house. And this is really good for returning back to any bureaucracy, red tape, legal situations, very important talks regarding documents, visas, passports. It's also potentially you dealing with foreign people, places, and faces, and education, and lots of international topics. Like if you want to learn a new language or you want to travel to a different place on the planet. So this is up for grabs with Mars retrograding back into your ninth house, and it is Cancer. So you could be returning back to places or traveling to places that emotionally feel safe or secure for you or nurturing. So going back into an environment like a university, hanging out with your guru, getting back into a spiritual practice seems more organic moving forward when Mars retrogrades back into Cancer in your ninth house from the 6th of January. Then from the 6th to the 11th of January, we have Pluto opposing Mars retrograde again. And this opposition now is indicating to me that, you're you're doing enough in regards to the legal situations, foreign people, places, spaces, visas, red tape, travel, international concerns. You're doing just enough because, again, you're more committed to the family and what's going on in the family unit and keeping things very insular and quite to yourself at the same time. So you're doing just enough to show up on the world stage, if you will. Now on to the 8th of January, we have Mercury stepping into the zodiac sign of Capricorn. And this is where you can see an increase in short distance travel. You could be in your car more. You could be traveling more. Education may be on your radar. And looking at the practical parts of your environment where you immerse yourself in, what places, people, and faces are around you constantly that are pulling at you for attention. So expect the volume to be turned up a little louder, and you could be feeling a little bit like Scorpio rising, that you're being pulled into many different directions. But this is a helpful transit for you to getting on top of red tape. Anything to do with communication, logistics, paperwork, fantastic transit, but getting all your ducks in a proverbial row. Nice. On the 13th, we've got a full moon in Cancer, and that is in your ninth house where Mars is retrograding also. Excuse me. This is where, for your Scorpio rising, this full moon in Cancer, like full moons are like the peak moment of the moon cycle. It's like this is as far as it can go. It can only be this full. There is no more. So that concept and the reality, the physical reality of the actual moon, it's as big as it can get, lighting up your ninth house, indicates, Scorpio rising, that you've come as far as you can regarding a spiritual path or practice, a philosophy about life. You also could be having a very sobering moment, if you will, of understanding, look, if I want to be more cultured and more educated, I need to be able to be brave enough to find a nurturing, supportive environment where I can flourish. So this is applying to a community college or starting a university degree or learning about a new language or a different culture that makes you feel that you are connected to the world in a larger space intellectually. The ninth house is intellectual expansion through travel, education, and philosophy. So these subjects may be ruminating or up for grabs, if you will, grabbing your attention on the 13th or 14th of January. It depends where you are on our beautiful planet. And you may be feeling embodied and really in tune with things that are connected to long distance places. International and foreign affairs could be really significant to you on these dates from the 13th to the 14th. Scorpio rising. But ultimately, I think this is a mood that's going to really have you feeling. You've only come so far and there's so much more. So you could be feeling a little antsy, if you will, to travel and expand moving forward from the 13th of January. From the 14th to the 15th, we've got Venus squaring Jupiter, which is retrograde. A Venus-Jupiter square, so this is a conflict with overindulgence. What's too much? What needs to be reined in? So this is about overstretching yourself with resources or getting entangled in other people's financial situations. So if someone approaches you for assistance, be cautious. They could be overindulging and you don't want to be enabling, for example. You may also be feeling that your sense of joy and pleasure is being squashed a little bit by the demands of other people. And so the 14th to the 15th is take it easy days in regards to not spreading yourself too thin financially or getting too involved with overindulgence. So now we're moving on to the middle of the month from the 15th to the 16th of January. So these 2 days, you could be feeling the urge, if you will, to withdraw and do more pleasure pursuits behind the scenes. So detaching from relationships, your normal obligations, you could be more insular, more self-indulgent on this day and feeling that it's a necessary evil to just do you. And that may take a little bit of discipline because you may be really good at spreading yourself too thin and being available all the time for other people. But this day may see you going, nope, I need to do me. And that is quite healthy, creating more healthy balance and strict, hard no's with people that encroach on your sense of peace and joy. We also have on the 15th of the days of the 15th to the 16th, the Sun opposing Mars retrograde. So this could be someone or a person or potentially it could be someone in an authoritative position really laying down the anvil and saying, hey, I need your attention. I need to communicate with you. And it could be difficult because you could be in hiatus, you could be in transit, you could be heavily engrossed in concentrating more on your spiritual practices and the larger themes of life. So this could be a difficult day to ignore emails, phone calls, text messages, and paperwork. So the 15th to the 16th of January, right smack in the middle of the month, can be difficult days because you're trying to establish more healthy boundaries for yourself while someone's knocking at your door and going, but hey, I need you. So can be, potentially bloody annoying, to be really fair. So how do you avoid this? Get on top of paperwork and communication before the 15th of January. Simple. Yeah. On the 19th, we see the Sun ingress into Aquarius. So this is a 4-week transit. So the Sun is going to be lighting up, if you will, your 4th house, which is about privacy, family, your roots, ancestry, real estate, and property subjects and topics are highlighted for 4 weeks from the 19th of Jan. So in short, this means looking at the terrain in regards to family units, real estate and property, where you call home, what feels organic to you. And you may feel like you're in an environment that's not comfortable. So this could be you traveling, for example, with the Sun in the 4th. It's not your usual place. It's not very comfortable. So you could be in an environment that feels a little detached or cold, so you don't feel completely comfortable, possibly from the 4 weeks moving forward about your environment or where you're traveling or where you're moving around. A family could be detached or playing it very cool. That could be bothersome as well. And you could see some real differences in family dynamics or where you call home for 4 weeks moving forward from the 19th of January. From the 21st to the 22nd of January, these days we see the Sun conjunct Pluto And we also see Uranus retrograde sextiling Mars retrograde. So these 2 days of the month of Jan look really good for support coming in to help the family unit, anything to do with the topics of real estate and property. There's assistance around, there's support coming in. So this is quite auspicious for things to start being a little bit more streamlined, easier to understand, or you're coping better within those topics of family and solid foundations. So that's really nice. And with the Uranus Mars retrograde sextile, this also indicates that there is a legal or bureaucracy connected to this new beginning on from the 21st to the 22nd. So this is like legal situations, or a law is passed that helps your family unit, for example, or something to do with property. And it could be a contract, it could be an agreement, or a partnership that's quite auspicious for you, Scorpio rising. So I like the dates, the 21st to the 22nd of January, for getting support that you need, that makes you feel secure within the family, your home, real estate and property concerns. Really nice. 23rd to the 24th, we have Mercury opposing Mars retrograde. So this is a day where you may have debates, paperwork, conversations or communications can be difficult to get people on the same page. So you may find it frustrating to get the details, the data and the actual paperwork in your hand, or have clarity about communication. Something going on within your environment can be really needing your signed document, needing proof, for example, and it's not there to go forward with something that is important in your local environment. So patience is needed from the 23rd to the 24th of Jan. We also have Mercury trining Uranus, and this looks good for recovering, getting better with dealing with hiccups and not having all the information on hand when it's needed. So this is as if for you, Scorpio rising, from the 23rd to the 24th, even though it's a struggle to get things set in stone, if you will, there's an ease or an understanding of it will come together eventually. So if you're feeling the pressure or someone's putting the pressure on you, know that things will come together in a couple more days. It's just going to take longer than anticipated. So if you're really getting knocks on the door, lots of text messages, hey, where's this, where's that, just know things will be sorted out and things will come together eventually. So you're sort of rolling with the realities of life isn't perfect from the 23rd to the 24th regarding communication. 25th to the 26th, we see Venus sextiling Uranus retrograde. And this looks really nice for relaxing, very calm days, the 25th to the 26th, because Venus lining up with Uranus retrograde indicates that there's a surprise coming through with a contract, an agreement, or a relationship or a partnership out of nowhere, sets you in a state of bliss. So this is out of the blue. My goodness, I can't believe this happened. It's easier for me to just go, you know what, I'm actually okay. Things are okay, especially with topics of children, romance, dating, sex, pleasure, your hobbies, anything entrepreneurial. Things are coming up roses from the 25th to the 26th. So these are fabulous days coming up and heading your way, Scorpio rising. On the 29th, we see Mercury conjuncting Pluto. So this sets the stage for getting the paperwork rolling and getting the conversations going and movement and travel connected with family, real estate, home, anything to do with logistics, paperwork, sales. It's all on when Mercury conjuncts Pluto in your 4th house. So there's potential for movement within the family unit, changes within the home from the 29th of January. And we also have a new moon on the same day. So this could be a new beginning in relocation, or feeling that you are trying to create more liberation and freedom on the day-to-day around your family unit. So you could be helping family members relocate. You could be also looking at redecorating the home, sprucing up the home, making it feel more modern, for example. But really nice day coming up on the 29th of January, with Mercury conjuncting Pluto and a new moon in Aquarius, all happening in your fourth house of foundations family. Lovely. On the 30th, we have Uranus going direct in Taurus. So Uranus has been in Taurus, Scorpio rising, since 2018. So you've developed a certain muscle, if you will, for rolling with the punches, with relationships, contracts, agreements, partnerships, endings, and rest. It's sort of been up and down, in and out. You're in a relationship, then you're out of a relationship. You take on a contract, then the contract's broken. You thought you were going on a holiday, but no, you're not. You've got too much going on. So moving forward, when Uranus goes direct from the 30th of January, you've developed that muscle for rolling with the punches. Things don't work out. You're like, okay. A relationship doesn't come through. You're okay. If it's difficult to find rest and peace at the end of the day, you're like, okay, it is what it is. You've developed that Uranian relationship with the subjects of the seventh house, which is other people, realizing that other people are unpredictable. They run their own race, but you're now okay with going, I'm not too phased. I'm okay with people changing their minds, contracts and agreements not coming together. I'm okay with it all. So you get the picture. From the 30th to the 31st, we have the Sunshine Jupiter retrograde. Really nice when the Sun shines Jupiter. It indicates structure, morals and ethics coming online, and feeling good about having more structure. There's an ideal in things being structured and tempered and predictable. And the 30th to the 31st looks good for certainty regarding other people's resources and support systems through money and contracts and assets that support the home family unit. So that's really nice when the Sun trines Jupiter. There's more structure going on there with finances and other people's resources that improve a family unit, or real estate and property topics. That looks lovely. And we also have on the same days, the 30th to the 31st of January, ending our first month of 2025, which I'm sure you can appreciate is so busy. Venus is conjuncting Neptune, and this indicates that finally a contract comes to an end, or you land an auspicious agreement that makes you just feel all blissed out. You may also have a partner or a relationship finally dissolve and come to an end, even though it may be painful, or you may be announcing to the world that the love of your life is the love of your life, and you make it official. So it could go either way. Know your own natal planets in your birth chart, and this can help incorporate this information. Like if it's Venus conjunct Venus Neptune, then you get the picture that something really big is happening for you. But the 30th to the 31st of January, it looks like really nice days for just going with the flow, feeling structured, you're feeling good. There may be endings, there may be new beginnings, but ultimately there's support, there's other people's resources and people around you that can support you to create a sense of solid foundations, things changing in the family unit with real estate, home and property. But ultimately, these are changes that I think, Scorpio rising, you have anticipated for some time. I'm not too concerned that this will blow you completely off the radar with the mental breakdown, I think you can handle this, because I think this is something that's been going on for some time. The changes going on in the family unit or home, real estate and property, and your relationships. So a very dynamic month of January 2025. There we go, Scorpio rising. That's your astrology for January. Now, the most important thing to consider with astrology and understanding planetary transits is understanding your ruling planet, where it is, what it's actually doing, what phase it's in. So your ruling planet is Mars, if you're a Scorpio rising. Your modern ruling planet is Pluto. Now, Pluto's in Aquarius in your fourth house for 20 years. And you may now appreciate, with all that information this month astrologically that you've heard, there's lots of stuff going on in your home environment. And this is indicative of the modern ruling planet of Pluto being situated here in your fourth house for 20 years. So it's a 20-year transit of transformation and change within the family unit, real estate, home, property. All of those topics and subjects are up for transformation over the next 20 years, because the modern ruling planet of Scorpio, and you're a Scorpio rising, is situated in that fourth house. And that's a lot to do with the roots, ancestry, foundations of your life. So you can look at this from a perspective of tilling the soil. You know, the soil's turning over and changing over the next 20 years when it comes to your foundation and things going on in private with your family. Whereas the modern ruling planet Mars is transiting in the zodiac sign of Cancer. And this is important for you. Mars, your ruling planet, doesn't go direct until the 23rd of February next month. And then when you consider your ruling planet Mars, Scorpio rising, ruling the body, your identity, your sense of self, who you are, transiting in that ninth house of Cancer in a retrograde. Well, the ninth house and the first house, they trine one another. So what that indicates is it's easy, because trines are more harmonious, they're more flowy, they're more organic, they're more, for better words, not so difficult to deal with. Trines, they're a little bit more, they come and go, and sometimes we may miss them because things are just easy. So this indicates to me, for you, Scorpio rising, with your ruling planet Mars retrograde in your ninth house of Cancer, trining your first house as a Scorpio rising, that you could be going through some changes regarding your body, your identity, because of international and foreign subjects or education, your spiritual philosophies about life, religion, anything to do with higher education. You're more on board to changing up your mind, and those subjects are easier to deal with. Red tape, bureaucracy, anything legal, it's easy for you to deal with. And I think that's quite a positive transit. Even though your ruling planet's retrograde, it means that you are more open to changing and being more fluid with those topics of the ninth house and subjects of the ninth house, which is helpful for being more flexible and adaptable and going with the flow when it comes to itchy or crunchy subjects like bureaucracy, legalities, red tape, applying to university or colleges, or learning a new culture, about a new culture, learning about something foreign. It's easier. Or learning about a new religious path. It's easier. Or easy to let go of a esoteric or divinatory religious belief, for example. It's easier for you to navigate, Scorpio rising. And again, it goes direct on the 23rd of February, only next month. And what that indicates for you as a Scorpio rising is that there's forward movement with purpose. So what you're adapting to, flexing, changing, you're a little bit, I'm in, I'm out, I can deal with it, it's okay. But from the 23rd of February moving forward, the paperwork's been signed, the course has been, you've signed up, you've met your professor, you've got the passports, the legalities have been sorted out. I understand my spiritual practice. I'm ready to start a new religious belief. I'm ready to start learning a new language. I'm ready to deal with things that are foreign. I'm ready to plan that international holiday. You get the picture. There's more certainty when your ruling planet goes forward from the 23rd of February. So the astrological advice is do what you need to do to flex, to bend, work, see what works, see what doesn't. It's like I'm lost for words here. Can you believe this? You're dipping your toes in and out. Not too certain, but you're half in, you're half out. Yeah, okay. Doing what you need to do. And from the 23rd of February moving forward, you've got definite certainty about the bigger picture. The ninth house is the bigger picture of life. It's your mind, body, soul, and spirit expanding with knowledge, growth, belief, systems that really mind boggle you, and you're ready to immerse yourself into them. So I think that's quite lovely. So I'm going to leave it there, Scorpio rising. Have yourself a fabulous January. And remember, stay cosmic.